So this is the lock I was picking the other day. I've already drilled the retaining pin that holds it all together out, and I'm adding in, I'm removing the core and the Bible together by pulling on the threaded bit that goes on the back of the core. As I do so, you can see that one or more of the key pins falls out, which means I've got to be rather careful putting it back together later. Each of these key pins is pretty much serrated. Some are a bit finer serrated than others, and pin 5 has 2 serrations, but all the others just got a single serration. So once these key pins have been removed, I can push the plug out of the Bible, revealing the driver pins. You can see the driver pins in pin 1 and pin 7 have got a reduced diameter at the top, which I'm guessing is to make it harder to impression, in that they may not drop to full depth when the impressioning tool is used. I don't know, I haven't got one, but I might get hold of one and try replacing them with plain pins. All the other pins are pretty standard, or are standard, in the same length. Also the I guess tapered pins at each end, although they've got shorter tails to hold into the springs, the main body of them is the same sort of length as, well, the same length exactly as the plain driver pins. So I guess that wouldn't help against impressioning. So there we have it. So, time to put it back together again. I've had a bit of a pause since I took it apart. I've had it back together once and tried picking it again. It all works fine. Key works. I just want to briefly show you the components. The main outer barrel, I did have a 4mm had a 4mm pin in it, which I had to drill out, which engages on the brass inside. I've threaded the outer part to take an M5 screw, which I'm going to use to hold it in place. The side effect of that is that I can actually move the shear line a little, and it seems that the shear line wasn't quite as tight originally as it is now, or it can be now. And it's a lot harder to pick when I've got the shear line very tight. I can move it out 1/2 millimeter or so, and I guess that's where it was earlier, and it picks like it did before. So that might be the only thing that they sort of missed out on this lock, which does appear to be really quite well made. On this bit, which holds the key pins, you can see hopefully that there is some countermilling on some of the chambers. I would have thought that countermilling would be on the same chambers as these reduced diameter top pins, which may be also called tapered pins, to give an extra restriction to stop them from running through. But I'm guessing that they're designed to catch on the serrations that are on pretty much all of the key pins. One of the key pins in pin chamber 5 has got 2 serrations, as I think I've already pointed out. So I still haven't voiced over the first video. So, in my previous video where I showed the picking and the fact that once you've partially picked it, one of the positions is dead and doesn't need to be picked anymore. In that video I also took apart, I also picked and showed a bike lock, which is made by Muddy Fox, or branded as Muddy Fox. The quality of the components of that one are pretty shoddy. There's a pot metal insert which goes into a pot metal catcher. There's just a moulded bit of metal. This was in there, and unfortunately I couldn't get it out intact. There was a plastic part in the back which was holding the driver pins and the springs, and that was held in with 2 pins. When I drilled the pins out, I still couldn't get the plastic out. I had to drill it and pull it out, so the whole thing's a bit of a shambles, but it probably explains why this thing was so floppy and quite irregular and hard, awkward to pick, because of the fact that the pins wouldn't be reachable at certain times. Compared to this, which is solid brass throughout and very well made. Also, just some security features. I'm guessing that these pins, which are in driver pins in 1 and 7, maybe as an attempt to prevent impressioning. I really don't know, because I don't have an impressioning tool, but I might get one and get another one of these locks. Maybe repin these positions with straight pins, see how easy they are to impression, and then put these pins back in and see if it slows down or prevents an impressioning attack. So I'm going to start putting it together very shortly, but first of all I'm just going to introduce one thing I'm going to do. You'll notice when I dismantled it that on removing this whole thing, the key pins started to fall out. So my strategy for putting it back together is going to be to put this nut on, which is normally holding the cam assembly on the back. I'm going to put it on partly once I've got this chamber full, and then hold it at that position to reinsert it, so that the key pins will be engaged in this part and the driver pins will be held in there, and I should be able to insert it, put it in, pull the whole thing together, and then put the screw in to hold it in place. So we've got rain on the tin roof at the moment, and the audio quality might be going down, combined with my respiratory illness I seem to have picked up in Boston in my visit last week. Not as severe as my colleague who's been in hospital with his. Right, so I'm going to repopulate the driver chamber. I'm going to start off with the springs and hope I don't lose any. I'll probably be quiet now because I'll do the rest of this and fast forward. Okay, so the results of my magnet fishing seem to have scored me a spring. And a lot of other little gems. So I need to try and pull this one out. And this spring. So I should drop one of the driver pins before, and not being magnetic, it took me about an hour to find it. I really must get a different floor covering. So I'm going to introduce this, and as I say, I'm going to hold it about that far up so that the key pins can sit more comfortably. I'm going to put the screw on to stop it from falling off the bottom, sorry, the nut on, and then remembering my arbitrary ordering, okay. Another thing to avoid in this is to avoid pressing them down too much and then letting go, because they spring quite a distance. That's how I managed to lose the driver pin earlier. Okay, so we have all those in. I just need to try and keep it all together while I put it in here. Turn it so that they coincide. And then I'm just going to get the screw in to stop it from falling apart again. So I got this lock from eBay. I think it was about £8, which is about the same sort of price as I got the bike chain for, which does mean that the bike chain's rather good value, but it's very poorly made in my opinion. So at the moment, with no detent mechanism, this will spin the full 360, and the detent mechanism, which adds a great deal of flexibility, allows you to either limit motion in the clockwise or anti-clockwise direction by using this little thing. So in this direction we can't turn any more that way. If we flip it over, then it can't turn any more that way. The other tab stops it turning more than 90 degrees. You can then put this cam on, which can sit at any corner of a square. I have it upright like I had it before, and then a shake-proof washer, and the screw the nut to hold it on all together. And there we have the still functional manual lock. Okay, so that's putting that thing together. I'll put a link in the description to the dealer who sold this on eBay. They sold it, you know, it is a fine quality lock. It was the cheapest one I could find, including delivery, and it was delivered within, I think, 24 hours, which is great when you're impatient to try something out. Okay, thanks very much for watching. Bye for now.